For me, it's a simple philosophy. I spend far too much time at work to not enjoy it.
Right.
You know, I have to enjoy myself, otherwise I will quit, and that's happened.
Right.
It's that moment where I'm like, you know what? The balance is thrown. I'm gonna go ahead and quit, and the managers always understand it.
Yeah, I used to have a friend that I worked with that you knew when she was on coke because she was a phenomenal waitress. Happy, funny, smart, right on it, never missed an order.
Yeah.
But when she wasn't high, terrible.
Yeah, really?
Couldn't remember anything. Couldn't make change. I was thinking about her yesterday because she could make change, but she refused to do it. So what she would do is just take whatever change in her pocket and just put it on the tray. And she said, as long as you go, here you go. When you're done, no one will count it. She said, I haven't made change in 10 years. No one's ever said anything about it. I was like, they probably think you're an idiot. Doesn't know how to make change if I had to bet, but
Wow.
And then another waitress I worked with, she wouldn't give people back their jingly change.
I did know people that was like a philosophy of theirs.
That was their philosophy, that she'd automatically make at least that much money off every table.
Exactly.
But my sister went into that restaurant with her husband, and she waited on them, and she didn't give back their change. And they demanded their change back, and then they stiffed her.
Oh, man.
They were so insulted by the fact that she would keep that.
Yeah, it is a little presumptuous.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I don't think I would play that.
Yeah, I've always given back change. I even give back pennies, and I remember...
Oh, yeah, me too.
Having to explain to somebody, I don't have the extra penny. I know you need 3 pennies. I've got 2. Here are my 2 cents. And they look at me like, dude, we don't need this. Right. But that's my personal policy / philosophy.
Probably you and I are kind of in the same position where we're incredibly cheap people by nature. I never walk past a penny and don't pick it up. Never. I don't care what it looks like. Yes, I'm picking that penny up.
The reason I don't is because at this point I wash my hands constantly. So I'm like, germs, ooh.
No, I totally pick it up. Actually, I went to the car wash last week and I was vacuuming out my car and it cost $2 to vacuum it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm going to do it anyway. I put the $2 in there.
That is cheap.
And while I was vacuuming it out, I looked down and there's a quarter covered in motor oil under some rocks on the ground. And I was like, sweet, just found a quarter. Move the rocks out of the way, throw it in the grass, rub it down a little bit, put it right in my pocket.
Oh, man.
And part of waiting tables, it only makes you more frugal because you know how hard you work.
That's true. That is true. Yeah.
And right now I don't work as hard for my money, so it's not. I'm not. Let's just say that, but we'll just pick up a quarter out of the dirt. But when you wait tables, you're incredibly frugal.
Yes, and I think it is because waiting tables, no matter how bad you are at it, it's hard.
Right.
Waiting, and it's not just because it's physically demanding. You're always on your feet. You're constantly walking to and fro.
Right.
But really, I find psychologically, it is one of the most not demeaning but discouraging jobs on the face of the planet.
Very discouraging. Yeah.
It's extremely discouraging.
Yeah. Plus, sometimes you don't really want to eat in restaurants anymore because just in my personal experience, I've personally seen cockroaches, dirty Band-Aids. I actually watched someone one time sneeze directly on their hand, a cook, and then pick up the chicken tenders and put them in the bowl.
Oh, that's foul.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just me personally. I've heard of many more things that are way worse.
To counterbalance this, I have, in my experience seen a lot of cleanliness, considering. There was one time, the worst I've ever seen, this isn't really so bad, something was dropped on the floor, but then it was also going to be boiled. So the germs would have been gone. That's the worst I've ever seen.
I've seen pretty bad.
I was going to say, it sounds like you've seen much worse than what I've seen.
Pretty bad, yeah. It makes me a little bit nervous sometimes.
Well, do you have any further thoughts on food service for anyone who, I know, by the way, I was going to also preface this with the fact that I know people who've always wanted to work food service but have not done so. I work with a woman now who is like, oh, I've always wanted to wait tables, but I've never been able to do it. And I told her it's entertaining in its own way. It's discouraging you in the long run.
If you're not trying to make money, it would probably be more entertaining. When you're really desperate, things aren't funny to you as much. When you get stuck, you don't just laugh it off.
Yeah.
It's really heartbreaking. And sometimes you just burst into tears.
Yeah.
Because you're so unhappy. But I have to say, at the job I'm at now, I rarely burst into tears. So I'd have to say I would discourage people from probably doing that.
Okay.
I would say, me personally, I probably would not do that again. Unless I did not have any other choice.
Okay, so are you with me on food service? My ultimate, if I were to answer my own questions, my ultimate one is definitely do it. Just don't get stuck. Or do you think people should just pass it?
I would just avoid it all. Like I said, the only job I would do now is an hourly job where I wouldn't have to deal with people. So dishwasher,
Okay.
It would be the only thing I would do, or maybe prep cook. I would not do anything where I would actually have to deal with people on a regular basis. It just hurts your soul sometimes.
Yeah,
It makes you a little bit bitter.
Okay, well, that's our take. And there it is. All right, well, thank you for joining me.
No problem.
I enjoyed it thoroughly, and yeah, Ty, good to see you. Peace. Have a nice. I hope you enjoyed your week.